Time for this debate has expired. I call on private and local order of the day number 1.
Hamilton City Council Parana Park Land Vesting Bill, first reading.
David Bennett.
I move that the Hamilton City Council Parana Park Land Vesting Bill be now read a first time. This is a bill that we intend to send to the Great Local Government Select Committee to deliberate on and hear any submissions that there may be from the public. This bill is brought on the behalf of the Hamilton City Council that approached me as the local member, and is in relation to an area of land known as Parana Park. Now, if anybody has been to Hamilton, they will know where Parana Park is. And Parana Park is aptly named because it is right on the edge of the Waikato River and is beside Memorial Park, which is where we have our great memorials for fallen soldiers and those that have served this country, and is the centre place of our Anzac Day celebrations and commemorations, and it is also a public area of a space that is used along the riverside and is very much part of the community of Hamilton and Hamilton East, and so we have great pleasure in presenting this bill to this House today in regard to Parana Park. When we look at the history that goes around Parana Park, I just want to just give the members of this House and the public some understanding of the history around Parana Park. Parana Park was gifted to the city by a George Parr, who died on the 26th of February 1929. And by his last will, he gifted the house situated at number 3 River Road to the city and the Hamilton City to be used for a children's convalescent home for patients from the Waikato Hospital. The land surrounding the house was to be used as a children's playground. In the 1950s, it became apparent that the house was most unsuited for such a use, and the 1958 Hamilton City Parana Park Empowering Act was established to give the Hamilton City Council more effective administration and manage the Parana Park area. If we look at Mr. George Parr, it's interesting if you look at the obituary of him, and this is on the 26th of February 1929 from the Waikato Times. And it describes him as an old and highly respected resident of Hamilton at the age of 60 years. Now, at 60 years nowadays, that wouldn't have been old. And he was son of late Mr. John Parr, a former mayor of Hamilton, and the Parr family had a grocery business on Hood Street in Hamilton, and if anyone has been to Hamilton, they'll realise that Hood Street is now the nightlife capital of Hamilton, and the building is still there, I should imagine, with Parr Brothers on as the home of their building. He was an active person that took an active interest in public life and was president of the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, and he actually advocated for a few issues which are not dissimilar to many issues that have been advocated in Hamilton at the moment: a connection of the Waikato River with Waiuku by means of a canal, and also a train from Kawhia and Raglan to Hamilton, which are interesting when you look at what is being advocated in the city at the moment. He was a member of the Hamilton Licensing Branch, and the most telling thing was he was a very strong Liberal supporter and had a great active interest in politics, and was somebody that was known to be very successful and community orientated and not to have any enemies in the city. Unfortunately, Mr. Parr never married, and so we have no family that would have taken over the property in normal circumstances, and so he vested in the City Council. And when it was vested in the City Council, then in 1958, as I said before, there was the Hamilton City Parana Park Empowering Act, that gave Hamilton City Council the ability to effectively administer the park. And I just want to read from that. That was in that bill. There was a speech by the Honourable Dame Hilda Ross, who was a member for Hamilton and a member from the National Party as well, and a very fine member, who told us some history of the property, and said that in 1929, on the death of the late Mr George Parr, his property and his house were left to the Hamilton City Council. In his will, he expressed his wish that the property be held as a children's playground and the house as a convalescent home for children from the hospital. The house has been found most unsuitable for that purpose. The hospital
Point
board...
of order, Honourable Trevor Mallard. Please sit.
Mr Speaker, this is fascinating, but I wonder whether there are any limits on the extent to which members are allowed just to read Hansard out, or whether it might be better, seeing it's already... I mean, it's unusual to give leave for it to be tabled, but it is in the record, and those of us who are well prepared for this bill, of course, are well up on this.
In answer to your question, Honourable Mr Mallard, there are no limits. Do I have an opinion that there should be? Yes, I long for the days when members were not able to use prepared notes in the House. However, that is not the case, and the member is in order. David Bennett.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And it is a very short Hansard, as you can see from those times, so I was only going to read a small part of that to the member, but I'm sure he would be most diligent and look forward and read it later when he goes back to his office. But essentially, Dame Hilda Ross echoed the thoughts that we had said earlier about the hospital not finding that the land was able to be used for the purpose necessarily, and so the council used it as a park, and the council found that it could really only use it for rental of that property, and didn't have the specific purpose that was intended in the original vesting with the Hamilton City Council. And she did note it has been a paddling pool. There is a paddling pool and a barbecue, which the Girl Guides use a great deal. And an outdoor stage has been built so that people can sit and watch, and there is trees planted so that people can look at this attractive part of the city and take advantage of it. And I was reading that out for a purpose, in the sense that Hamiltonians use that part of the city for its aesthetic qualities often and many a time. And it is appropriate that Hamilton City Council now be able to deliver to the residents the ability to use that land in a way which they have a better grasp of control over the property, so that they can deliver exactly what the residents want and have wanted for many years in the way that they use that property. So there is a purpose for this bill, and the purpose is to assist the Hamilton City Council in providing the amenities that Hamiltonians want. Hamiltonians use that land now for those purposes, and by doing this through this bill, we actually give the City Council the full extent of the powers they desire, so they can implement and deliver those services to the community. And as Dame Hilda Ross said, it is a very pleasant site but brings in no revenue, and the City Council wants to run this ground and use whatever proceeds there may be as a means of maintaining it. And so things have not changed in the last 50 years terribly. So, in the end, this is a bill which we are providing into this House on the behalf of the City Council. The land was gifted by an individual for a children's convalescent home for patients of the hospital. The land was being used as a playground in the past. In the 1950s, it became apparent it was unsuitable, and so was vested in the City Council through the Hamilton City Parana Park Empowering Act. Parana Park is currently used for recreational purposes, and the Hamilton City Council considers it is appropriate to update and modernise the legislation by which it holds Parana Park to enable Hamilton City Council to more effectively manage and administer the park. The repeal of the 1958 Act will allow Hamilton City Council to do just that and enable any plans for development of that area. So in